Covering baseball on a day-by-day basis was always my most treasured job. It was a wonderful, wonderful trip.
Dick Kaegel's baseball writing career spanned 50 years, beginning with the Cardinals' 7-game triumph over Mickey Mantle's Yankees in the 1964 World Series, and capped by the Giants' 7-game series victory over the Royals in 2014. Kaegel got his first sports writing opportunity at the age of 16 for his local paper in Belleville, Illinois. Shortly after finishing college, he successfully lobbied his boss at the Granite City Press-Record that he should cover the 1964 Fall Classic. He distinguished himself with his coverage, earning an associate editor position at the Sporting News the following year. In 1968, he would join the Post-Dispatch, following the Cardinals for over a decade before returning to the Sporting News as editor in 1981. Kaegel emphasized baseball coverage, hiring a bevy of talented writers to cover the national pastime. In 1988, Kaegel returned to the Daily Beat, joining the Kansas City Star as the Royals beat writer. Kaegel cherished the relationships and day-to-day interaction he had with the players and club personnel, as well as his fellow colleagues.
My best friends over the years have been Carlos Beltran and Mike Sweeney. I'll never forget those two people.
It's only fitting that Kaegel will be celebrated as the 2021 Bbwaa Career Excellence Award winner in the same year that Ted Simmons, a player he covered in St. Louis, earned enshrinement.
I would like to invite Trent back to the podium to say a few words about Dick, and also invite Dick to join him.
From the banks of the Mississippi River to the Kansas Plains, Dick Kaegel's 6-decade career covered every inch and every angle of baseball in Missouri. In a journey that took him from the Cardinals beat to the Royals press box, with a stop in between at the Sporting News, Kaegel covered some of the best baseball ever seen in the Show Me State, sharing with fans his literate passion for the national pastime. Kaegel started journalism while in high school in Southwest Illinois before earning his degree from the University of Missouri. He worked his way to St. Louis in 1968, joining the staff of the Post-Dispatch. Kaegel covered the Cardinals for the next 12 years, eventually earning the job as the Post-Dispatch's executive sports editor. 8 months into that assignment, he became the managing editor of the St. Louis-based Sporting News, a return to the publication for which Kaegel had served as an associate editor from 1965 to 1968. In 1981, Kaegel became the editor of the Sporting News, a position he held until the summer of 1985. Assembling a top-flight stable of writers, he prioritized coverage of the national pastime. Kaegel's stint at TSN marked the glory days of the Bible of baseball. In many ways, as readers waited impatiently for the Thursday mail when their weekly copy arrived. In an age prior to digital media, and with ESPN just getting a foothold on the cable TV landscape, the Sporting News delivered inside information to diehard fans, especially on the baseball beat. Kaegel returned to the Post-Dispatch in 1985 before moving to the Kansas City Star to focus on the Royals in 1988, staying with the paper until 2003. He finished his career covering the Royals at MLB.com and retired following the 2014 season. With a story-first outlook and unrelenting determination, Kaegel sowed a love of the game in millions of loyal readers and earned the everlasting respect of his colleagues.
Thank you, Trent. Two of the most memorable experiences in my 50 years at our great game came here at the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. In 1999, we were here for George Brett's induction. We stopped by the Otis Saga Hotel and heard the sound of music from the ballroom downstairs. Stan Musial was playing his harmonica for an enthralled crowd. Now, if you ever saw Stan play Take Me Out to the Ball Game or Wabash Cannonball, you know how much he loved it. As we walked in, he stopped playing and said, "Hey, everybody, here's Dick Kaegel from St. Louis and Kansas City. How about that?" Then came that wonderful laugh and the next notes from his harmonica. For a kid who grew up across the Mississippi River, idolizing Stan Musial and the Cardinals, That was a thrilling moment, a spontaneous introduction from Stan the Man. The second experience is right now, with the highest honor given by the Baseball Writers Association of America. This, too, was totally unexpected because the other nominees, New York Press legend Marty Noble and Baseball America founder Alan Simpson, were equally deserving. And to share the Bbwaa Award with 2020 honoree Nick Cafardo is very special. Fellow baseball writers, thank you for this great honor. I just tried to do my job, work hard, and respect others, especially the ball players I covered. You baseball writers are among the hardest working men and women in journalism. Your contributions to the game are enormous. And to the fans who read your stories year after year, a huge thank you. Always by my side is my bride, Betty. She has been my rock on this journey for the last 22 years. So Betty, my princess, I dedicate this award to you with all my love. And we are eternally grateful to the anonymous angel who 15 years ago gave me the ultimate gift, the gift of life, by donating the liver for the transplant that I desperately needed. We are also thankful to our dear friends, Mike and Ileana Hosmer, who recognized symptoms of heart trouble before a game just a few years ago and insisted that I go to the hospital. When I thanked the operating surgeon for saving my life, he said, "No, your friends the Hosmers saved your life. I just finished the job." The Baseball Hall of Fame gave me the incredible experience of serving 2 terms on the Golden Era Committee in company of such Hall of Famers as Hank Aaron, Tommy Lasorda, Al Kaline, Ozzie Smith, and so many others. Our sincere appreciation to Jane Forbes Clark and the Hall of Fame's efficient and gracious staff for your hospitality and warmth during this visit at baseball's home of history and everlasting glory. In the summer of 1956, when I was 16 years old, my hometown newspaper's only full-time sports writer left, and the Belleville, Illinois News-Democrat needed a replacement quick. My high school journalism teacher was among those consulted, and Miss Josem mentioned a skinny kid with thick glasses who loved sports and knew his way around a typewriter. I was hired for the summer, and for my senior year, the News-Democrat arranged for Belleville Township High School to let me work at the newspaper in the morning and attend class in the afternoon. Of course, some nights I covered high school games and how my dear, wonderful parents, Ray and Peggy Kaegel, managed to sleep while that portable typewriter was clacking out stories on the dining room table. I'll never know. But God bless you, Mom and Dad, for showing me how to work hard. You were always there for me and never let me down. And I know you're here with me today. My sports editor at the University of Missouri's daily newspaper, the Columbia Missourian, was Jim Crichton, just one of many talented editors, writing partners, copy editors, photographers, printers, and artists who shaped my career for more than half a century. After journalism school came jobs at the Columbia Daily Tribune and then the Granite City, Illinois Press Record. Now, Granite City happened to be the hometown of Dal Maxwell, the Cardinals infielder who replaced the injured Julian Javier at second base in the 1964 World Series against the Yankees. So my Major League Baseball coverage started right at the top. 4 World Series games at Old Sportsman's Park in St. Louis as the Cardinals and Maxie beat the Yankees. Those stories led to a job at the Sporting News in St. Louis. Among other things, as a young writer in 1967, I wore a Baltimore Orioles uniform in spring training for a 4-part series about working out with guys like Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson, and Jim Palmer on the team that had just swept the Dodgers in the World Series. Then on to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, where sports editor Bob Bragg assigned me to Cardinals games. Incoming Hall of Famer Ted Simmons joined other future inductees on those 1970s teams, Bob Gibson, Lou Brock, Joe Torre, and the manager, Red Schoendienst. During that time, Rick Hummel joined the Post-Dispatch staff. Rick won this award 15 years ago and now is marking his 50th year at the Post-Dispatch, a half-century of great writing. Thanks, Rick, and all who supported my nomination for this award, and especially to Kansas City Bbwaa Chairman Jeff Passan for submitting my name to the committee. The Sporting News brought me back as managing editor for 5+ years, then came 2 years as a columnist for the St. Louis Globe-Democrat until that newspaper folded. But you know what? Of all the things I'd done, being a baseball beat writer was what I enjoyed most. Kansas City Star editor Joe McCuff ordered a move across Missouri for 16 years of writing about such dynamic Royals players as Frank White, Mike Sweeney, Mark Bbwaa, Jeff Montgomery, Bo Jackson, Brett Saberhagen, and of course, George Brett. In 2004, I moved to the same job with MLB.com. Although he never mentioned it, I am certain that the revered late owner of the Royals, Mr. David Glass, was instrumental in getting MLB.com to hire me. I'll never forget my last conversation with Mr. Glass. He told me, "Betty really did a great job of shaping you up." As usual, Mr. Glass was right on. I thank the entire Glass family for their support. During those years, players like Carlos Beltran, Carlos Febles, Angel Barroa, Salvador Perez, Eric Hosmer, Alcides Escobar, Jorge Lopez, Jorge Soler, Adalberto Mondesi, and God rest his soul, Yordano Ventura, became family friends. It added up to 27 years of covering the Royals, ending with retirement after the 2014 World Series. Exactly 50 years after my first series in 1964. Along with my fellow BBWAA members, I covered a lot of baseball history, ranging from the famous World Series home runs of Carlton Fisk and Kirk Gibson to the devastating San Francisco earthquake. But when you leave the everyday life of baseball, it's really the people in the game that you miss and remember. Not only the men on the field, but the team's hardworking behind-the-scenes staff. And the guys and gals who welcome you to the stadium with a friendly greeting every day. All of you folks always contributed to every story I wrote. It was you who made this honor possible, so please let me share it with each and every one of you. Baseball truly is a family, and it is a great one. Thank you.